what you need in the building. So a lot of people are talking about the recounts in Georgia, and they're recounting by ballot by hand, and a lot of people are worried, that the election could be stolen. Listen, I listened to the Georgian representative for Georgia interviewed, and I can tell you that it's the right process, and that both parties are monitoring the recounts, and it's done in fairness and in order. So you shouldn't have to worry about Georgia recounts. And regardless of whether, well, you don't have to worry about Georgia recounts. And so the Republican, I think it was Republican governor, or no, he was the lieutenant. Yeah, he was the governor, I think, of the area. Um, assured everyone that that's going to be a transparent process, and you can see it also is televised and everything. So, no, it's transparencies to its max. The recounts are going to be what they are. They're probably going to reflect the same thing that we've already seen. And Joe Biden has won this election, but Donald Trump was going to challenge until certification comes from every state. I think that Pennsylvania has been certified. I think Arizona has been certified now. I think the margins are too big for um, for there to be any chance of a recount. So the only state that has a recount going on in it is Georgia because of the margin of the lead, that the percentage lead that Joe Biden had. So there's no need for anyone to worry about anything really. This is going through due process. I think this is good so that all the people of Georgia would realize after the recounts that this is the verdict and that they could trust in the democratic process. I think this is a good thing that's happening. As much as Joe Biden's not getting access to certain information and so on, I think this must carry through to its completion because it makes a statement on democracy. And that is why when Donald Trump challenges anything that has to do with the democratic process right now, he must be shown to be someone who does not have validity in his statements by the actual truth. And the fact that Georgia is Republic run and at present, and I believe the senators in there are currently, or governors are Republic governors, which means Georgia must be represented by the people in there, both Democrats and Republicans, whichever senator goes to the Senate. And people need to understand that, be cognizant of that. And the representation that a senator represents a district with or a state should be in the interest of the state and not in the interest of the senator. So I hope that whichever senator goes there represents the interest of the state and not the interest of his particular interest or backing, or whether Democrat or Republican, he should speak in the language of the people he represents. And whether it's a governor or whether it's a congressman or whether it's a senator, because each state, and this is the thing I think a lot of people don't understand, and the Democrat, there's a reason why sometimes Democrats may not agree on certain things. It's because of the representation, the people they represent. So I truly hope the people can understand. That's what makes a Senate a Senate. It's not just because it's not just pure partisanship and nepotism. It's about, okay, there's common ground we agree on, but my representation, however, is very specific on certain things. So I hope people understand the process that involves governance. I hope that they do. But I've been keenly watching and sort of observing the post events that has happened since Joe Biden has been announced winner by several media agencies, including the Associated Press. Of course, the Associated Press now looking for confirmation, so they're going to wait until the Georgia elections are completed, and when that certifies that Joe Biden has won that state, if that certification happens, then it means that it's a sealed deal, it's a done deal. Joe Biden has won this election completely. But I think certain states have already certified Joe Biden as the winner. I believe this is the last state to do so, but I think he's already won the election. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Let it play out. there is a there is the competitor, Donald Trump, who's competing with Joe Biden, um, who is basically he's contesting it. He's not he's not conceding defeat. He's contesting the election. So if you're contesting, it is within your right to contest recounts. And so that's in Georgia. A lot of other things he's trying to contest in the courts, and he's failing with those things, and that is what it is. The other thing I want to talk about, the reason you're not seeing my face right now is because I'm bareback, and I don't want you to see me bareback at this point in time. Excuse me. So, okay. So there's a lot of senatorial stuff that I'm talking about, and, governance stuff. So I decided to give you this background, kind of typifies the governance stuff. Now, with respect to the due process that they're doing in Georgia, I think they're taking a sample first to show that the system is working well. Obviously, the governors, the senators, the different levels of governance in Georgia state, obviously they want to be proud that they have done a good job. So obviously, they don't like anyone second guessing their work and the people they hired. So it's in their best interest, and it will definitely be plus points to show that this election was free, fair, free fraud. Any incidents of fraud that happened were not as prevalent to affect the votes. So this is the angle they'll be coming from, because they're proud of their place, and of course they want to show that they did a good job, obviously. So that's for Georgia. Now there's another thing going on which I just have to comment on, and it's negative, so let me just get to it. Donald Trump has been raising money to, he asserts, contest and have recounts and contest in courts and stuff from his following. And Donald Trump has picked up very quickly that the people who follow him do not seem to grasp that he's manipulating them. And he's been doing it very, very successfully for the last 4 years. And I'm talking about the grassroots people. I'm not talking about the power players who have been able to fund him and put him in the position, okay? A lot of these people who are power players who are funding him are old guys. Just like the head of Fox, the former head of Fox is an old guy. They're old guys, and they're not just old guys. They're from Eastern European background, particularly really Eastern European background. And nothing's wrong with being from Eastern European background, but some of them are actually from German descent. Some of them are actually from the Nazis that migrated across America. So that's kind of a scary thought. But suffice it to say, these people are funding him, but he's also coming from a grassroots level. Some of the poorer white people have been funding this guy, and they just don't understand. He does not care about them. He pitched the tune, he played the Pied Piper on them, and they don't understand. And they're funneling small amounts of money, but they're funneling a lot of their hard-earned money to this guy, and it's going to be vaporized into his accounts, and it's sad because this is the thing I don't like, when leaders manipulate people, and all of these people are well-meaning people. They have well-meaning lives, and it's just not right, in my opinion, when somebody manipulates people like that. And I feel so bad for them right now, but I hope that in time they'll realize that while that decision, they got played, hopefully they'll understand later on that they can proceed forward with some dignity, and understand that they will be represented. Because I must say this over and over, especially the country folk, they need to be represented properly in Congress and Senate, Guys shouldn't be playing partisan games with these people. And these are good folk. These are decent people. You know, most of the people who vote for Trump are not bad people. They're manipulated, but they're not bad people. I can guarantee you that. Okay. Their world may be small, but then whose world is not small? You know what I mean? So I really sincerely hope from the bottom of my heart that Donald Trump will not steal money from these people. This is wrong. This is what big business does. And he is definitely, that's his model. He's big business. They exploit people, which leads me to the next point, which has to do with vaccinations and masks. I know Joe Biden means so much, and you know he wishes well, and he's trying to. But big business always monopolizes you. Pfizer is going to monopolize you guys. Why is it you guys don't understand this? The vaccines that they're going to use and all this media hype and all this stuff is, again, it's a left-wing strategy to some degree, but it's also manipulation. They're manipulating us. Trust me, they're manipulating us. You know who will speak about this? And he's a former, I think, senator or whatever. JFK's brother, not Robert Kennedy, but he's a Kennedy. Actually, he's the son of Robert Kennedy. Is he? Yeah, Robert Kennedy Jr. He has been working arduously along with some German guys as well to debunk the PCR tests, which are not accurate. And then he's also working alongside to deal with this pandemic. And it is a pandemic. Now, I like Joe Biden. I love him a lot. But he has to find an alternative solution to shutting down the country. He has to. What they can have is more curfews, maybe rules, not even curfews. They need to find rules and regulations to regulate, to ensure that people obey the distance rule. Because obviously it's a virus, it can be spread. And most people are not taking precautions among people they know and not asking questions where they came from, etc. And because it's the winter season, everybody has to huddle together in a small space. This is where the infections are happening. And people with pre-existing conditions, mostly the high-risk people, are getting the COVID really badly. And it's really affecting the hospitals. It's a big problem now in certain states. It's a huge problem in certain states, especially at this time. It's flu season. And of course, the COVID is going to behave like a flu because it's a virus, right? So the first things, and see, people, they're creatures of habit, so they're not going to do proper practices. They're going to always look for this dream solution, which is a vaccine or something. So this is what people need to do. One, get yourself immediately some vitamin C supplement, things like citrus, orange, a lime, a lemon. You need to get yourself some olive oil, virgin olive oil. You're going to use that with the lemon. And you can add to it some garlic. You use a spoonful of that and you take it all the way through the day. Give that person that. Let me explain how simple it is. Your body needs something to fight this virus. Because of how foods are GMO foods today, they lack certain nutrients that usually you get from the soil. Your body needs minerals and vitamins, which are cofactors that are used with enzymes to do various processes in the body, which is necessary for your immune system to be boosted to fight any kind of infection. For the people who are almost at the terminal stage, that is, the respiratory system has been compromised, please steam the composites that I just spoke about. Add garlic, add ginger, add some salt, and steam the stuff. Put their head over the steamed stuff so they can inhale those contents with lemon. Let them inhale it into their respiratory tracts. It will go towards the virus. It is not a cure, but that's the first step. The second and third, and if you need to go hospitalize yourself, so be it. But the hospital is going to be packed. The other thing you do after you can breathe semi-properly You now ingest lime or lemon, the olive oil as a lozenge. Do not, please do not, or you can. Olive oil boils really rapidly, so you don't want to use the olive oil if you're going to use a steam bath with these ingredients, okay? And you inhale it. Now, once you get past that step where you can breathe, you must use on a continual basis lime, olive oil, and that's a teaspoon of each. Okay, you put just a little bit of olive oil. You take the lime, you squeeze it, or lemon with the seeds in there. Drop it down in there. It's not a cup full. It's just a teaspoon lime, lemon, and you take it in. Okay, and that's a lot. The olive oil is a lozenge, and it also goes to your lungs where it can soothe it and allow passage of things down the lungs. Okay, people who have acid reflux, the same thing. That combination is very good for preventing irritation of the lining of your lungs and your windpipe, etc. Okay, that's the 2 steps you must take that will save your life. Okay, and if you have to go to the hospital to get continuous treatment, do make sure you don't go to an overpacked hospital, otherwise you will die at the hospital. And if you're going, equip yourself with lime, virgin olive oil, and if you can sprinkle some ginger in there, and you're taking that. Okay, ginger is of course an antiseptic. It is it's a very natural immune booster. If you can get ginger, if you can get, always have it on standby. Now, for those people who are at risk people, every morning with anti-inflammatories such as turmeric, lemon, garlic, and ginger. Use it every single morning. I don't care if you are someone who is, unless you are hypertensive, then that's a dangerous thing to use the ginger. The garlic, try to use the ginger instead. This combination will protect you for the day. If you have a multivitamin supplement, particularly I prescribe certain multivitamin supplements, but I can't remember their names right now. If you have a multivitamin supplement, particularly I want you guys to try and isolate and get selenium. It is a key co-cofactor that's used throughout your body, and that's what keeps you up. That's what's keeping me up. I have the tendency towards prostate cancer as well as cancers. But selenium is a very important ingredient. Okay, so if you can get that, you use it. Now, the selenium tablets, maybe 1 tablet to 2 tablets a day, depends. If you have a pre-existing condition, selenium is useful in even healing you. In fact, let me say this to the people with pre-existing conditions. This is very important. Now, some of these ingredients I just spoke about can interact with you, but I believe the lemon, particularly in the lime, will not. You cannot use too much lemon or lime. It will destroy your intestinal tract. You have to use it in moderation. So, for example, it's teaspoons, not a whole bunch. Now, let me give you something else, which is very important. Okay, because I have reflux, and that means I have problems breathing because of the acid that comes up from my stomach and touches my vocal cords, and that can lead to throat, ears, nose, and throat cancer. A lot of people don't know that the reflux can do that if it's violent enough and often enough, and it can also lead to respiratory problems where you have water or liquid building up in your lungs. That is what causes the heart to enlarge because it has to pump more oxygen, etc., etc., etc. So a lot of people do not understand when you have an ulcer in your stomach, that's why it affects your heart, and you have other side effects because of lack of oxygen. Now, what I want to tell people is the ingredients I told you can get anywhere, any place. It's very important to get those things and have them on standby. Okay, you can hear how I choked when I coughed. That was a choke. That was a reflux. So it's very important for asthmatics, etc. And for asthmatics, that lime and virgin olive oil will help to actually heal your lining and to also help you to breathe better. That combination. But early in the morning, warm water first. And then about 10, 15 minutes later, a combination of, if you can get virgin olive oil, a little bit of that, a touch of it, a touch of lime or lemon. You can even use a touch of proper natural baking soda. Some baking sodas have aluminum in them. So you want to have a touch of that with the lime, because what it does, the lime has in it the vitamins and so on, and the acid. That acid interfaces with the baking soda and releases the carbon dioxide, as well as releases, it forms the acid into a certain format, which is readily available to the body. So there's a lot of things I can say to you guys, and I'm spending a lot of time on this because COVID-19 is a very serious threat. And I don't think that vaccination is the answer to it. I think that the answer to it is boosting the immune system and health of the individuals, because vaccination actually, while it allows the immune system to react to a virus, I, I don't trust vaccination because there can be other adjuvants in there, other ingredients, which could actually affect individuals that are not reported. So that's why I'm afraid to deal with vaccinations, and I'm very skeptical about them. The way how people can actually is actually show us the process of formulating the vaccine all the way to production. Now, if they can show a transparent process there and show us, the delivery of such a thing through a transparent process, I, as a scientist, will approve it. Don't tell me about it. Show me it. That's the only way, because I understand what some of these vaccines are doing, and there are a lot of younger and younger people getting vaccines for no damn reason. Okay, um, your immune system is robust enough to handle certain situations. It doesn't need help from a vaccine. And a lot of people recover from COVID 19, much more than die from it. Obviously, it's a very small percentage of those who have got it. But more importantly, the at-risk people mostly, and sometimes you look like you're healthy and you're moving around fine, but you're an at-risk person. I am even an at-risk person because of the reflux. So have to pay attention. Absolutely agree with their social distancing rules, the 3 feet or the 6 feet that they use. You want to be more careful how you associate with people, people who you know and appreciate. You still should be somewhat careful when you're dealing with them to watch the symptoms that they're doing and interacting in faces, particularly in the homes. It's not to be skeptical of people. It's not to you still hug people, whatever, but you need to be careful. You need to be observant when somebody comes from outside of a household into a household. I don't have that problem too much because I live by certain conventions where I take necessary precautions. So there are precautions you need to take. I think these precautions should be actually a standardized thing for life. That is cleanliness, general cleanliness. You don't have to be super duper clean, but you need to have general cleanliness. You need to have fresh air, breathe fresh air. You need to do things to make sure that you boost your immune system. Health is not the same thing as fitness. And people confuse that, particularly lay people. Oh man, I run 100 miles and I do this and I've been doing that's fitness. That's not health. The state of your body. Oh, I went to the doctor, get a proper check. That doesn't mean you're healthy. It just means he did not pick up any distinct symptoms of disease. As we all know, cancer, people have cancer 10 years before it actually manifests itself in a serious way. Okay, all that time while they were having the cancer, I mean, a developing cancer, not just, we all have cancer cells, a developing cancer. But during that time, they're considered healthy, right? So you can't look at that as a benchmark because a doctor approves you. You have to be smart enough to understand the symptoms that you're having. If you're having problems breathing, if you're having problems with reflux, those are not good signs. You need to remove those things from it. And there are certain habits and practices that people have that contribute to their illness. It's not just the food they eat. Okay, I can tell you that firsthand. Now, having said all of this, I hope that you guys would be responsible enough and disciplined enough to take the necessary precautions. Not everybody's like that. Of course, the young people who party and all of that, they come back with diseases and stuff and they spread it. So you want to be very careful about how you approach things. And the mask situation in my country sort of, I think, helped to discipline people, because not everybody's disciplined enough to understand social distancing, to keep yourself clean, clean your hands, you know, general things like, because just keeping yourself more or less clean. I'm a businessman, so I conduct business with people, and I try to keep my hands generally clean. Um, I also try to, if I'm going to use any sort of materials or stuff that maybe I'm sweating, for example, I have to wipe my face. I probably add a little bit of either lemon water, or I'll use a sanitizer, and I put it on a cloth, and then I'll wipe my face. So if I'm going to touch my face, I'm definitely going to use something that's sanitized. So these are some of the precautions. I do use a face shield. They call it a mask as well, but I need it to breathe, because if I don't, I'll choke. So these are very important things for a lot of us to understand. Particularly the people who are high risk, and people who are not very healthy. You need to be careful. Now a high risk person. I wasn't always, but as of recent times, because of the activities I've been doing, I've become high risk, and that's on me. But you have to be careful. A lot of people just recklessly do things. You don't be reckless. Don't be reckless out there. Okay. It is a very bad bug, and it does kill people. Okay. This we do know. So you want to take those precautions. Also, I would suggest to people, whether you're a proponent of mask or not, that you're careful if you're coughing in public, like I am. Please use a face shield or mask for the general health of people. Okay, because, and especially if you're coughing, you should probably not go out there. Like today, I'm not going out. You hear me coughing, right? You hear me coughing, right? That's not a virus doing that. That's reflux. Okay. I did certain things which I shouldn't have done, and it's brought about this result. All right. That's reflux. Believe it or not, I'm coughing because a set of gas just came up from my stomach, refluxed up, as it just did there, and choked me. Literally choked me. And this will affect my heart. It will affect my body. It will affect my circulation, because the stuff is coming up all the time. It'll affect my lungs. So you have to be careful out there, people. Okay? That's all I got to say on what you need. Peace.